Mirage is soon to begin. The knife has not occurred yet, I do not believe, so we don't know who is starting on the CT side. Now, Mirage is something I always say that I'm interested in seeing how different teams, especially different regions, approach the T side. Is there, between these two teams, is there a particular side that you want to see one of these teams play? Or are you just open to it all? You're just going to absorb it like a sponge?
More or less that. Partially because with Immortals, we haven't seen a lot of consistency lately. They've had a lot of... I mean, I think Halvor put it yesterday. He said they've been slow starters for the last few days, and I think that's continued to happen. So for them, probably whatever the second half is probably going to be better for them. Honestly, CLG they've been quite impressive for both sides from what we've seen so far as well. So for me, it's just a general. I don't have anything specific to look for. I'm just curious whether CLG can generally live up to what they've been delivering in the previous 2 days. Because if they do that, if they give it a close performance, they actually might be able to. They actually might be able to beat Immortals. Because I said on the desk just to troll, because did you see Dust's face when I said CLG? He was not impressed.
Was he shocked and disgusted?
He was, yes. So I got my troll in there, but I legitimately don't really think that in reality they should win. But I think that there is a possibility if Immortals continue to have this trend of being slow starters on top of CLG's past performances in the last couple of days, because it actually hasn't been too bad at all. It's been quite good, to be honest. Still to my surprise.
What's interesting is the current state both teams, and as you mentioned, Immortals have been somewhat inconsistent, and I think we expect more from them at this point as a team. CLG are a team who a lot of people are writing off, who seem to be surprising people and beating expectations. But the question for them is, how long can that go on for? It's like CLG, how long can they have consistency in at least exceeding what is expected of them? And how long will Immortals lack that consistency? Maybe the tide will swing between these two teams during this match.
And one thing that Immortals need to make sure that they improve upon today, if yesterday's anything to go by, is whenever they play the T side, they will play the T side at some point.
Sincerely hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, it took 2.5 hours yesterday, but...
But one problem for them on the T side was that they had these slow rounds, and if CLG copy what I believe was it Cloud9? I think it was Cloud9. What they did, then and just basically give up a lot of the map and just play very passively, never peek Immortals, and force Immortals to actually take positions more aggressively. Then yesterday they couldn't do that. Immortals were getting into mid and they're not doing anything with it. And then the rounds would get kind of weird because of that, and they wouldn't give themselves the opportunities and advantages that they should be getting. So that was a leak. That was a big leak in their gameplay yesterday. But that only works if CLG play a very passive style of play. If they play very passively on their CT side. So we'll have to see if CLG have been watching any Immortals games or if they're just going to stick to their plans. Obviously, what we saw yesterday was pretty impressive. koosta had an amazing day. Is that going to repeat itself? That would be really cool to see.
CLG won the knife, and they have chosen to begin the proceedings on the defense. And indeed, I think that there's a reasonable chance. Well, I think this will. I'm going to commit then. I think this will be the more difficult side, or should at least be the more difficult side for CLG. So I'm quite interested to see how they deal with struggle. Hazed, blind spot. What is that? Hazed! Delivering again. That's a good start for CLG. That is an absurd snap, Dan. That is an absurd snap. That is almost 90 degrees. He just popped her face.
It was against SK, wasn't it? Sorry. Was it against SK? I don't. Okay, never mind. But yes, hazed was one of the performers as well that we don't expect to see necessarily. So that is a nice way to kick things off, isn't it? And Subroza is actually Subroza today, not Sub-Zero. Or Sub-Zero, or whatever else you would want to call him. koosta, he's so happy. Always sees a hand, now he sees the entirety of felps, and that's a dead felps. So Immortals coming up flat so far in the pistol round. Not a good look, that is for sure. They have loads of nades on Henny and Zeus. So you can see the plan was always to go A. And here we go. They are going to need to hit quite some shots to make this work.
Just a reminder, there's a Bard off B split strat, which has 2 people on utility. See if the utility works out here. Well, Lucas is gaining ground for his team and gaining skulls with Mantelpiece, but Cutler will put a stop to that nonsense. koosta rotating to CT spawn. The advantage is with CLG once again. Henny spotted on the corner. Down goes Henny. No cover for the bomb. Look how patient and calm koosta is. He's definitely been on the bath salts. That's going to be a solid pistol round for CLG. Look at this. Look at this.
Boom.
Whack.
Yeah, that was nice. And with that good economic start on CLG, I can't wait to see that fast AWP in the hands of koosta. Well, actually, Cutler will tend to be AWPing a lot as well. Actually, mostly is what we see from the setups, how they work on this map in particular. koosta will be more rifly unless the second AWP is required. So that's an interesting way that CLG mix things up here. Yesterday it worked out pretty well for themselves. Looking forward to seeing what Immortals have up their sleeves with these flashbangs. Where will the pop flashes go? Because as the T side, you don't expect the CCTs that close necessarily on a round like this. The CTs want to stay as far away as possible from the Tech 9s.
hazed. Looking towards connector. That's a nice spot he's holding actually towards connector because it allows you to peek connector without showing yourself to Palace and have a somewhat off-angle peek of Palace as well. That kill will signal Immortals charging towards the site. Can the bomb go down though? 2 players in CT and koosta's coming in from the short position, so maybe nowhere safe to get the bomb down just yet. Needs to keep the guns out. Just the one. Oh, 2 men down. There goes koosta. Immortals waiting for a peek from CLG. The lasers are trained, but the sharks are out of water. Lucas gets taken down. Very slow, deliberate, considered round from Immortals from start to finish. However, the bomb now is in no man's land. In comes Cutler trying to finish things off. Will be Ethan to do the job with a 3K. 3 men down for CLG.
And with what we've seen in the last few days of CLG, it's almost, we kind of have to wipe the slate clean a little bit because it is a completely different affair, even individually, from what we've seen from hazed, Cutler, and so on. They seem a lot more empowered in this new lineup, to be honest. And now they will have, well, hopefully for them, an opportunity to build a lot of bank in this round. Immortals looking to spread out a little bit, though, initially, but perhaps coming together on middle, which is going to be somewhat of a problem against all the ranges of the FAMAS and Cutler's M4. Not really going too well, James. Pretty much probably the worst possible place to go with no grenades.
I like the grenade from koosta. Didn't do much damage, but that's not really the point in the sample size. It is worth investigating off that wall. So here we go. The buy comes in from Immortals. Henny's got money for an AWP and some armor. No helmet though. I would love to drill tiny stats like the percentage of times an AWPer on the T side dies by a headshot from an M4 when he doesn't have a helmet in the 4th round. Things like that would just be super kind of soccer stats, if you will. Soccer tier stats, or just, you know, big sports. That kind of stuff could be really valuable for small edges. Cutler forced away from the window.
Please.
It is North American Counter-Strike after all, Dan.
But we are British.
That is very true.
In England.
Yeah, that's very true. It's football.
And they produce football here in this building.
That's very true.
You are a traitor of the highest kind.
I'm back, Dan. I'm back. Henny's gone down towards a short position. koosta not even needing to peek from the ladder room. Immortals have the bomb in connector. There's still a lurker towards A and B. We'll see what decisions they take with these kills. felps with a nice headshot to koosta, and that may open up a B rotation. However, there goes Ethan as well. So I think it's going to be A. I was going to say, because Immortals like to play slow, maybe they wait for rotation and go A. But we'll never know, because even more frags came in. Wipe out from Immortals almost just shy of. Subroza picks up the AWP now. You have to wonder, if Lucas peeks here and Subroza gets a kill, not going to happen.
Yeah, if he saves the AWP though, that's all well and good. It's kind of annoying they didn't really win against one buy round first though. All needs to save the AWP, needs to save the AWP if they want to be able to go for a buy in the next round, and he will lose the AWP. Now the next round buy is very bleak. So Immortals straight back in it, and also Subroza was actually much more wealthy than I thought. Very wealthy indeed. A full buy for him, and Cutler can get the AWP as well. So not nearly as bad as I thought, which is great for CLG. They will still be on a couple pistols though, so that's not the best situation in the world. One would expect some form of aggression to come out from CLG to mitigate the disadvantage they have on the weapons, to get an early round advantage perhaps, and not to allow Immortals to just take the normal spaces, the normal positions in middle. Although that said, again, that was one of the things that they struggled with yesterday, is actually moving up mid. Okay, they could do that, but then the second bit, getting the actual control of connection, or the guy into connector, or the guy into window, or the guy into the ladder room.
Hazed is in a spot where he can avoid getting flashbanged by such flashes as that. He can pop out, but will his timing be good? He's waiting for the time being. Again, this spot and the other spot on the other side, really hard to flashbang, and there it goes. His patience pays off. A nice shot, but will he go for the gun now? Lucas expecting it. Hayes pops out late, but doesn't have much to work with. And Connector is indeed in control of Immortals. 55 seconds left. They have a gun advantage. You could say they have somewhat of a positional advantage. However, koosta could change that. Might not be easy with a 5-7 on short, but it's possible. And he can go for a double peek with Ethan, who's just around the corner from Connector. So zews shows some presence towards B. The bomb's rotating towards A. And zews may have to be the full guy in this play.
Passive stuff there from CLG. They're waiting. Like, when will the move be? I mean, they've only got 20 seconds left. And he's peeking. Oh, he's got this angle, surely. Cutler moves in there. He's so dead. And he is very, very dead. Ethan coming in from the side. 10 seconds to plant the bomb. This is actually getting a little bit too scary now. They might even be able to actually stop the bomb from being planted. Not quite. Ethan is going to go down, but koosta delivering for the team. 2 players left here for CLG. They are close to being able to defuse this. It's a couple kills away as koosta looks for the next player. They have a good idea of where the last 2 players should actually be. Subroza easily takes down Lucas, down to 3 HP though, and it's just zews left in this 1 versus 2. The bomb taking away. The bomb is planted for him. Do they realize where he's going to be playing from? Oh, there it is. The kill onto Subroza. He was very weak. The peak, the wide peak has to come out from koosta. He couldn't afford to miss that shot. And that will be the round for zews and Immortals. But only 1 player survives there. However, CLG are not in a position to buy in this round, so they can't really, that's not really going to impact Immortals too much.
Recovery looks good, but that last frag just eluded the CLG side. So once the buy is in from Immortals, it is a 100% success rate at the moment. We'll see how it continues. Still a small sample size. felps on the Mac 10 looking for these ecoing players to tear into pieces. He will be the blender in this round. Though he may not find people to blend, because his team are putting in work for the time being.
Will it blend?
3 kills on 3 players. I was waiting for a teammate, but it's not going to happen on this occasion. Will it blend indeed? Blend. I wish I had stuff to blend.
What kind of stuff?
Anything. I just want that. I just want you to get the blender.
Oh, you just want to blend random objects?
I want to blend. I want the Will It Blend blender. Those videos were amazing. They even put an iPhone in there.
Yeah, an iPad as well.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I love that video series. That was really good. Speaking of video series, there's a new video series on our YouTube. Yeah. AWP for Henny. CLG back on the buy with 5 M4s. Flashbangs, smoke grenades, but not massive on the utility side. koosta looking to drop a smoke on shorts, but what is he willing to do behind it? He's going for that that HE I noted earlier, and he's done reasonable damage. 35 damage to felps with that. That's a type of grenade into low I haven't seen before. Most people throw it off the opposite wall. Hayes with a nice angle. We spoke about these yesterday. These smokes around connector are so favorable for the CT side. Look at the responses from CLG.
Yeah, it's looking really good there, and the bomb needs to be collected at this point. And he's going to need to find a way to get that bomb to a location that where it can actually be planted, and that means that things rest on either zews or boltz to open up one of the 2 sides of the map here towards A, B, or A respectively. That said, Henny is moving towards A at the moment, so perhaps zews can get something done here to just cause some distraction, maybe get the pick off and make the numbers game a little bit easier. And here he goes. Does he find the great timing? Oh, it's good. That's Subroza dead, and the rotation is immediate. Only one player stays on A. That's going to be Cutler. Can Cutler get it done? He's looking towards Palace, but boltz smashes him down with the AK-47. boltz yesterday was absolutely incredible in every 1 versus 2. boltz would win every 1 versus 2. I feel like that was the story of yesterday with boltz, just every 1 versus 2.
boltz was indeed incredible.
Incredible.
So, I want to see where the bomb was. The bomb was planted, I believe, on the inverse side of default. Always good to see, but you need to find the right time to do it. There's a pause coming in from CLG. I would say it's probably tactical, but sometimes they just all disconnect from the server because their internet is a little bit dodgy. Bought from a guy, back of a van. Okay, it is confirmed as tactical. So I do wonder if they have the cheerleading squad this time, because they had to go to CLG Red's house, and I know Miss Harvey gets mad hype for CLG even if it's different games. So there's no doubt she was jumping around and screaming behind them. Maybe that spurred them on, Dan. Maybe Miss Harvey is a difference between a victory and a loss versus the best team in the world.
Maybe so. It was quite interesting actually, because I was surprised to see them have such a seamless transition between the houses. That's a good sign, I guess.
Yeah. But at least it's, you know, it's better than let's not forget when SK first came to first went to North America. They were some dude just like you guys can all come and set up on some tables here. But their setup was mad ghetto, man. Whereas, you know, they're going to the CLG Red house. They're going from a gaming house to a gaming house. So situation should be optimal for gaming. It's a cool story. There's lots of interesting things that have happened this year. Some of which have been recorded in the Valve VTs at majors. Some which haven't.
Yesterday, Henny had a smiley face instead of a raised eyebrow face or whatever. Raised eyebrow.
I don't even know what that emote is. I've never known what it is. I just think it's a bat.
I think it's just his eyes, just happy eyes. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get the push coming in from Immortals onto the site, cleaning up the pistoling players, the ecoing players, the players without money, the players that are comparable to paupers because they're so poor, in poverty, impoverished.
Dan, you're spitting fire right now.
And CLG will just have koosta now.
Yeah, I've always thought that emote was a bat because I didn't understand.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know that these smiley faces.
Like, I think it's just your eyes. It's like kind of an anime kind of happy eyes. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, I guess so. But I'm just gonna stick with bats.
It's kind of like the cheeky version as well of a smiley face in a sense.
I like bats. There's a family house in France, and there are bats. A family of bats who live in the eaves of the roof.
They have a post box with their name on it.
What, the bats?
So if you wanted to send mail to the family of bats, you could.
No, but there's a pile of bat turd in there.
Okay.
Don't know if that helps post. 5-3, double orbs coming out for the CT side. They have made a difference. They've made a change. Michael Jackson will be proud. Hazed in the connector area, looking over the smokes. Ethan is going to take Zeus down. There's a lot of action coming the way of CLG on the A side at the moment. Felps moving into connector. Down go 2 Ts, but Hazed goes first. Advantage CLG. They've got information despite losing Ethan on the site. There's a longest flank NA coming from Subroza. It's currently in T-spawn, and Henny might be going to check. Or just taking a different approach. Surely Subroza hears. Yes, he hears. He's got sound. He's got headphones on. And they're functional, and they will deliver. Felps alone on short. The bomb is on the wrong bomb site, but he has time. Interestingly, I do not believe, I was going to say that anyone's in position to hear him jump into CPL, but koosta is ready and waiting. Takes some damage, but he's still alive. Not prepared, though, for the move back into mid.
Okay, pretty tense for Felps. Oh, he finally takes that one-on-one. The wide peak is too strong. Too strong. Cutler secures around. So CLG are able to bring this match on Mirage a little bit. I just realized, James, we're back on Mirage again.
We had a mere 121 rounds there.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Dan. This is the only Mirage of the evening, though.
Okay.
Oh, Cutler. It's too late to apologize. as the song goes. What happened to the A in that song? Why wasn't it too late to apologize? Why is it apologize? Cutler goes down, and that's an early disadvantage for CLG. I like to think of them as Klug sometimes. Klug. Subroza goes down, and this should be a non-round for CLG. Indeed, difficulty is being experienced. They're being subjected to the will of Immortals, who have won 5 of the last 6 rounds, looking good for a 6th from 7.
Yeah, all they have to do now from the 5 versus 3 is just grab the bomb, and they can do anything they want. Split onto a site, try to have a lurker, just distract as they have Zeus already in position for that, and they can try to go back and re-execute into the A bomb side. There's so many different ways to play this position from, and Zeus might just end the round by himself. Although pulling out the grenade there, not going to be helpful. Hazed will grab the kill, and Ethan and Hazed really need to try to find a way to save. I don't know why I said feel. They need to feel.
You can have a feel in the game. That was a weird pause.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Oh.
The B-bomb sites is open for business, but the bomb is planted on A. And Hazed is in the middle of nowhere. How do you save in this situation when you're stuck? There's a flank.
Gotta kill people.
They must know he's there. That's a good start. And that's a nice finish. Oh, I was really hoping he would roll down the stairs.
Yeah, me too,
I was like, come on, do it. I've never seen that before. We often see people sliding down upper on B, getting all those splinters in the bum, sometimes in the face. But no rolling down the stairs.
Valve, please.
Valve, we need more rolling. Rolling. CLG down to the pistols once again. Immortals looking to extend their lead, and yeah, it is looking. I mean, this is the pick of CLG. I don't know if 4 rounds on the CT side is going to be enough for a team of this caliber versus Immortals. I believe that they require more.
I think many would share the belief. I feel like CLG will be fine. As long as they can get another 2 or 3, they should be fine. It gives you, I mean, when you get to that region of 5 or 6, you can always have the space to make the comeback. I mean, it's always quite doable, because even if you lose the pistol round, you get a couple of rounds in which you can do something. It's always very problematic if you're stuck on 2 to 3 rounds. Obviously, that's the worst, absolute worst. The 2 to 3 difference is quite huge. Should you lose the pistol round, you still get a chance to actually get a buy round in. And the difference with 4 is that you get the opportunity for another force buy as well. So there's more chances. So it's exponential in the amount of opportunities you are afforded in that range of rounds. But enough about that. We've got CLG now trying to bum rush Henny down, steal his AWP. Oh,
Goodbye.
Like a bunch of thugs, James. They came in, they took his AWP, and they're going to steal it away.
There was an album from Capone and Noriega, I believe, called Thugged. I can't remember if it's an album or a single. I bet Thorn would know. Called Thugged the F Out, which reminded me of. Has that song with the helicopter at the beginning where he says what, like 70 times. What. Has Khalees in it as well.
I wonder how you come up with a song like that. It's like, this is a good song. And
This,
it's just like, what,
that's
repeatedly.
a bad miss.
Yeah, they were trying to do something there, but that...
They were creeping, Dan. They were creeping. They were creeping on the corner. They were literally creeping on the corner, Dan. That's what they were doing.
Ooh. Oh, this is becoming very awkward now. Subroza getting some additional damage in. Not too much, though, on Zeus. But Zeus is like, guys. All of his teammates are dead. That is really weird. That's such a strange round there, especially after 2 of them. Especially, one of them 2 had the AWP that they'd stolen away from A in the short position. They both died like instantaneously. So yeah, like right there. They just die. Yet still somehow CLG managed to take the round away. So they got 5 rounds now. They got 2 AWPs. They are back in this one. They are right back in there.
Opportunity knocks for CLG. They are in the apps over towards B. And we saw some interesting action there yesterday. Zeus holding one of his great many angles. Bit late on the trigger, but he's going to deliver. Koosta goes down as well. That's a disaster, Dan, for CLG. It's like you've built a nice house on the cliff and there's been a mudslide. Now you find yourself in the water. With your leg in a shark's mouth, Dan. That's the situation CLG are in at the moment. 4 versus 2. Their money's going bye-bye. The bingo numbers are not coming in, Dan. There's no cash.
Yeah, after that surprise. Well, the thing is, though, after that shock victory, I think they survived with 2 players, so they had 2 guns, which means that their money, although being reset, they can actually have a buy in the next round. Otherwise, normally they wouldn't be able to. So that's kind of cool, I guess. It's something that's going to help them out. So let's see if they can save the remainder of these 2 weapons, because if they can, they will be quite healthy. But they are really spread out at the moment. And Cutler, you must look behind you. Please look behind you. Please look behind you.
From the back.
He's dead. He did not look behind him.
From the back, back in black, back on the attack are Immortals. Ethan with a coach's AK. I have a crown on my AK there as well.
Does that fire blanks if it's the coach's one?
Don't know that. He is from Brazil after all. Have you seen City of God? Of course you have.
I haven't seen that movie, actually.
What?
I still haven't seen that one.
Really?
Yeah. You can't possibly say what really to me, because there's about 1 billion things that you've not seen.
Yeah,
so
no, but I feel like we've had a discussion about this film. I thought you'd seen it.
No. That was with any of the other number of people that you call Dan.
Have you seen City of Men? Have you seen City of Men?
No.
Have you seen Sex in the City?
No.
You haven't seen that either?
No, of course not. Seen Sin City.
There we go.
Ooh, nicely done again with the pistols. These guys are making it work. Making the money, making the bank, making the kills. Here, it's just Lucas left. He's got it all to do there. Nice grenade in there, but it's not going to get the fatal connection. Bomb planted, smoke to provide some cover, get into some more angles there, and keep the CLG side guessing. All these nades coming in are problematic, and he's forced to peek out of the position, and that's going to leave him exposed and shot in the chest by Koosta.
In the chest.
And once again, CLG steal away a round that they had no right to steal.
Yeah, so down and out, but they're coming back like Rocky Dan, getting punched in the face and like, come on, come on. You ain't so bad. Have you seen Rocky?
Yes, of course I have.
You ain't so bad. You ain't so bad. You ain't nothing.
Where's the Adrian? You have to
man.
shout Adrian.
The best quotes are Mr. T. My prediction, pain. Both teams on the buy once more. CLG fighting to close the gap to 1 as we move towards half-time. They've got loads of grenades and they are full of utility. And now it's Ethan's turn to be in one of those off angles, those spots to avoid flashbangs. Hazed out in the open will be taken down, as will koosta. No response from CLG. Ethan just has to wonder where his teammates went.
He was just watching, man.
1,000-yard stare, Dan.
He's just watching. Not taking part. But now he's going to be a forced participant in the chaos, and he will die. But somehow CLG, I mean, I say somehow because they won 2 rounds with pistols. They managed to win 6 rounds in the end. And if you look at the fact that they won the pistol round, half of their rounds came from pistols. And the rounds that the follow-up rounds they won, I think like 2 against Immortals didn't have any money. So they actually only won, I think, 1 buy round versus buy round, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So generally speaking, just like having 6 rounds out of that is ridiculous. And they are very lucky.
Redonkulous. Well, we have a fast play. Immortals going to concentrate 3 of the forces, that's 60% by the way, over towards B, Dan, but there's nobody there, there's nobody home, it's been abandoned, it's derelict, it's deserted, everybody's over towards A, down goes boltz. There's not much else to defend the A site, it's going to be a fast plant, they've taken CT as well, so far so good for CLG.
Yeah, this is kind of perfect, isn't it? It's pretty reminiscent of the door rush on the cache map, cache. And Immortals will creep in now. They got the flank coming in from the slope area from T-spawn, and is it going to work out? No. Hazed is going to have an easy time with that, and everybody's dead apart from Henny. No kills on the board for Immortals. So CLG looking to win a 2nd pistol round. This is going to feel like one of those really weird maps for Immortals because they keep having the struggles, and yet they only got 9 rounds. They should. If CLG didn't win that first pistol round, Immortals probably don't drop a single round or something. Or like it could have been an insane first half. But
Dan,
instead, 9-7.
I've got a very interesting scenario for you. Okay, so in this pistol round, towards the end, it's I think 5 or 4 versus 1, and Koosta's on A ramp. He has got Kevlar but no helmet, and his armor is perfect. Now his team are trying to deal. His team are trying to deal with the CT, who is in jungle, the last one, just trying to pick him off, just trying to kill him. Right? If he kills him, he gets what, $300 for it. But if he gets tagged trying to kill him, he has to spend $1,000 on armor instead of $350. So the question is, does he chase to kill that?
Yeah, but you need those stats so that you're not ridiculed by the general populace when your stats reach HTV, James.
This is a very good question.
Because because on HTV you see kills, but you don't see economic efficiency.
Yeah.
So
all that matters is the scoreboard, Dan. You live and die by the scoreboard.
Put that in your gasket or whatever those are.
Gasket.
Gasket. I can't remember what they actually are though. But that's the thing that people said probably in the 60s, haven't they? Anyway, we got the situation here for CLG where they've managed to progress towards B. They've only lost 1 man so far. So I was about to say it's not too bad, as this is the portion where they're supposed of the round in which they are supposed to get themselves onto that site, but losing men on the way, on the journey all the way to that B-bomb site, and felps is creeping. He's the last man standing, but he could kill 2 players here. This is scary. There's the first one. He knows where the second one is, but Subroza has a bullet with his name etched on it in gold.
I should be a coach, I've realised. Who needs Sean Gares? You've got barred off. Save your armor, baby. You save $650. We're playing for the long term here.
That's not exciting for people, though. That's not really an exciting message that people can get behind. You need to make it more relatable.
I have a book called On the History of Military Incompetence. This is the kind of stuff that would be in there.
I'm sure that's highly depressing, that book.
It's really interesting. I haven't finished it, but it's a good read.
How much
it's not like this guy. It's not like this guy did this and he was the pleb. I don't even know where it is right now, because I read a few books at the same time and then I stop reading one of them.
And then you lose one and then you stop reading it because you lost it.
That happened once.
Okay, you should get a Kindle, man. Kindles are godlike. Here we go. We got the push in from CLG onto that B-bomb site, slowly but surely. We've got the positioning from Ethan. Gets the entry frag. Very nice, very nice. Second player spotted. Long range with Mac 10. Apparently it's going to do the job. Apparently it's going to work. So CLG are going to tie things up here. I feel like this game should be really one-sided for Immortals, but they lost both pistol rounds. They lost to two eco rounds, or kind of 2 force buys with pistols. I mean, to some extent, you have to, you can't 100% credit those round losses to CLG playing amazing with the pistols. That is a spot where Immortals did have some mistakes here.
Variance.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, yeah, you're gonna like 10-15% of the time, maybe you'll lose against pistols, but most of the time, it's probably your fault.
Very specific lineup of a flashbang from Hazed. I want to see what this covers, and trajectory's gone. Now, I can see it there. I can only assume that's why we've mentioned this before. When you put a smoke down on short, if you're moving towards the boxes, most of the time you throw a Molotov into connector to stop being a shot. Someone like Fallen is going to kill you every time if you don't have a Molotov there. The flashbang forces the CTs out of connector. Cutler's got to be careful though. See, now look at that. We've got the responsive smoke, but because the timing was close, Cutler will choose to push in, which is quite smart. If the T smoke had already popped, then it may have been more risky. So split-second decision, and Cutler's chosen aggression, and it will pay off on this occasion, at least positionally. No one down for either side just yet, despite there being 40 seconds on the clock. That's the kind of itch mark where the T's like to get their skates on. I think it was most apparent on Inferno, actually, the 40-second mark, at least for me.
So they are ready. They are ready to go. They got the man in connector. They got the men on slope. However, there is a player close on the one side. That's Lucas. He's got a flashbang. So will he get flashbangs from his teammates to have the peak there? Might not matter. boltz and Henny are in, doing the business. Oh, the business has been well and truly done. That is some good business, James. There's only one guy left now.
All the transactions. So that's basically, I mean, yes, he got a kill at the end because they're trying to hunt him down, but it's basically no kills. Yep. As they're trying to achieve their objective, not a single kill for CLG. Do you wonder about the time as well? Again, it's a long time for 10 people to be alive on the server. Immortals take the lead. A buy continues for CLG, the AWP from the previous round, and all the other good bits. Again, no Molotov into connector, but they will quickly move to the boxes. Maybe a good spawn will be enough on this occasion. Smoke in response by the CTs. CLG, this week so far, they've used their own smoke in connector to get a lot of kills. Round-winning kills. But they are on the CT side, and felps. Oh, hazed. Made a terrible mistake, and that's going to be hazed and Cutler going down. felps just chilling behind the smoke. Subroza in isolation. Distracted by shot, taken down from connector.
Absolutely taken down. It's funny, isn't it? Because CLG do not seem to be able to get anything really going when, like, in proper time, in the proper buy versus buy rounds on either side so far. Immortals have been really shutting them down pretty effectively. With 2 men left alive and the money the way that it is, I don't know. I think CLG are completely broke. I think they might be. So you got to be careful with saving guns as a tease, because you don't want to kind of make the money really weird so that you can't actually buy at the same time as your teammates. Like, for example, in the next round, if the 3 teammates of these 2 players who might be successful saving save themselves, when they can buy, say in the next round, these 2 saving players from CLG actually die, then now they can't buy with their teammates. So you got to be really careful with how that works. And I don't know if there's not even enough time to plant the bomb on A at this point, so they are going for the save, it seems. And yeah, there's another kill from koosta. We'll have to see how the money does work out in the end, because maybe they'll be fine.
Trivia. There is a song called Immortal by a band called Edema, which was made for a Mortal Kombat game.
Which band, sorry? Edema.
Edema, yeah.
Yeah, I like that song, it's nice.
I don't know what genre of rock that is.
It was in a lot of movies, frag movies in the Quake days.
Makes sense.
They had some cool songs, actually.
I had 2 of their albums. I probably wouldn't listen to them now, though. 2 rounds between these 2 sides, but as you can see, the CLG money has been decimated, annihilated, obliterated. It has capitulated. Most players have 2K in the bank. And again, Dan, koosta and Ethan having saved their guns. Oh, man, koosta just took it all in the face. AWP's been rescued by Subroza. On our second PC, I was watching koosta and had a side view of his just head exploding, hitting the deck. Weakness has been found in the Immortals defense. Lucas has gone down. And there is time for CLG. Zeus pushing forward in B behind the smoke. Taking some positive action following the loss of a teammate, of a brethren, of a brother, of a homie, a home slice, a bread bin.
Bread bin, that's a new one.
Well, the slang, you know, people say brethren, wagwan brethren, but then people who would scoff at that would say, hello, bread bin, or wagwan, my bread bin, rather than brethren. 43 seconds left, the entire CLG side over towards A, and it is a passive defense. It's a retake defense. boltz at the back. Henny and felps charging through connector. What can they find? Ethan going down. There's a player close to try and trade, but Cutler will be falling as well.
Yeah, they're getting pretty wrecked at this point in time. It looked like there was hope. But no hope. I mean, the bomb plant was really, really needed, to be honest. And this is the situation I was talking about, by the way, where they died in their following round for them to them saving those guns, and now they can't buy properly with their teammates. So you almost want them in that round to just try to go and get kills so that they can actually buy in this round properly. But they've decided, the entire team has decided to half buy, actually. And 3 of the players did actually have around $4,500, so they just want to buy together, man. They want to be together. They want to be on the same page.
They've spent $5,000 in this round. Lucas finding some fun in the smoke. He hears koosta, but he can't finish him off. What impact can this damage have? Immortals aren't all the way towards winning at the moment, so they need to stay alive at present. felps falling to the flames, and Ethan will die to a falling boltz. Boltz coming out of the air. See what I did there. Money's good enough on Immortals. They won't be too worried at the moment. 3 players north of $5,500, as you can see there.
Do you know what I didn't see yesterday once? Auto sniper. There was no Scar 20 anywhere to be seen.
I feel like we saw it one day this week.
I think in the development league we saw it.
Ah, yes. So Henny maybe expecting a player to move through short, and they're waiting for the short player to come out. felps emerges and will submerge almost immediately, taking koosta with him. Ethan heavily tagged with the bomb. 3 players in mid for CLG. Is there any response from Immortals? Again, zews going aggressive in the apartments, and lucas is pushing a ramp. Immortals not sitting around for this one. Henny in connector will do one, and then he'll be done himself.
He's done one. Now, Subroza, will he be checking for this spot? Ooh, now Zeus knows. He just sees that pixel. That's a beautiful position to play from, and that's going to probably signal the death of CLG now, as hazed has to go get the bomb. At least that's doable, but then he's got to try to make the decision between the 2 bomb sites, which is already very difficult. He does have time to do it, though, so he could... The hero play is possible. Going for A probably is going to be more, give him more success, because you would imagine that with A, if there would only probably be 1 player watching it, and either they'd be in a very funky position like Palace or Shadow or something like that, or you'd imagine that they would be playing it passively from the boxes on CT. I think it's probably a little bit easier, but that said, Immortals get all the information immediately, so hazed is basically just dead.
He's going to be turned into a Reuben sandwich, Dan. He is firmly in the middle. He will be oiled and breaded and consumed at the will of the Brazilian. Is there going to be a knife kill? Yep. Indeed, there is. The precision incision. He is a backstreet doctor's use, and he's made a nasty operation. No sutures required. No messing around. Instantly from Zeus. I'm going to knife this man. He will be knifed. I'm going to butcher him. He will be subjected to my meat hooks. Henny holding an angle once again on the corner of the smoke. Again, the various things to be aware of as an AWPer in that situation. Common plays are around the smoke. And if you're looking top mid, then a player jumping up in the middle of the boxes, as well as obviously to the right. Then there's a second smoke down short to go for a fast B play. All kinds of madness. All kinds.
Finally, Henny actually dies in that position, but it was to the AWP of koosta this time. Maybe Henny felt like he had a lot of liberties there because that position wasn't getting punished or Molotov, as you said previously. But that's a good advantage for CLG to play with now. But what can they get from it? What is the response from Immortals here? Because you would expect Immortals to have some kind of a response. lucas has been left alone on the A side. He's playing Shadow at the moment. Maybe considering going through Palace. As we have boltz getting information. Just a peek for information there to see what CLG are doing.
I love that boltz didn't go for a peek and try to kill Cutler there, because it's very unfavorable for the CTs. And again, information, it's important for him at this stage to stay alive, especially being a man down at the moment.
That push, though, from felps could... Oh, that was so important. That was so important. That was the forward information. Now lucas has to do a hero hold against 4 players.
There is the unfavorable engagement at being demonstrated. Zeus versus 5. What does he do? He walks out and he dies. A small bonus for koosta, end of that round. Immortals, I wouldn't say they have money to burn, as you can see, so perhaps the save was in order. Didn't come. 4 rounds between these 2 sides. That's 5 rounds in a row that Immortals have just won. This is minimal loss bonus. This is 1,400. Should they lose this one? 1,900. Not good by any means. They do manage, however, to eke out a buy. MP7 coming out once again. We're seeing a lot of MP7 sharing more of the spoils with UMP these days, and it's a fast play from CLG into A.
Yeah, koosta able to hit the second shot onto lucas, which will be quite nice for CLG. Now Immortals will be going for the retake, but maybe they won't, because they are getting destroyed there. There is just nothing they can do in this position, and I don't know what the future looks like for them now. I mean, CLG haven't been too consistent on Mirage just generally here so far against Immortals. But, I mean, again, they've won one proper buy versus buy against them now. Well, okay, I guess this kind of counts as two, kind of. Although the buy for Immortals kind of sucks. And now we're going to get the pause. So I imagine that's tactical for Immortals.
It is confirmed tactical. Zeus has written TAC in the chat.
What is what?
Tactical?
Oh, TAC. I thought you said THC. I was like...
Isn't that like drugs or something?
Yeah, it's tetrahydro...
Does that give you massive hormones?
No, it's...
Does that give you bull testosterone?
No, I think it's isn't it the psychedelic component of
oh, right.
marijuana?
Yeah,
something
like that. Yeah,
tetrahydro something. I think I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure someone will tweet you with what.
No, tweet Dan. Don't tweet me.
Tweet tweet James. You were talking about 420 no scopes earlier, so.
Yeah, 420 degree. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I'm sure that's
just
exactly
spinning around like Kylie Minogue, Dan.
Why not 360? Because that's the actual meme, the emoji meme.
But you can just, up it a little bit more.
What, specifically to 420? Interesting, James. I'm not buying this. I will not stand for this. But as far as the options for Immortals goes, they should feel fairly confident just that when they get a buy round that their success rate is going to be pretty awesome because it just generally has been. CLG have only won a very few buy versus buys against them on both sides. They won both pistols the following 2 rounds. And I think what did they do? They won 2 of their 6 rounds on the first half from just pistols, basically, which was essentially to some extent good headshots from them, but also Immortals not playing it 100% correctly as well at the same time, a little bit sloppily here or there, which is something that we saw yesterday as well in certain instances. But yeah, don't have to change too much, I don't think, for Immortals. Just get their heads back in the game. And they will resume the match.
Match indeed will be resumed. Not much money in the kitty. I do wonder where kitty came from. We'll look it up later when there's time. Felps and Zeus, key men for their side. Zeus over towards Mag 7 as he often is. Over towards B with the Mag 7 rather. People have died then. It's a tragedy. Someone called the amber lamps. There goes the M4. So that should mark the end of the round. I don't foresee Zeus getting into a position to clutch the round with the Mag 7 on an open round such as Mirage. And indeed, that will be the death knell. The round is over.
So it's time for decisions to be made, and the money is kind of weird, so they're going to make the decision to save, which they perhaps already had made in the previous rounds when they did go for the tactical save.
Dan, I've got some info for you.
Save, the eco.
The definition of kitty, cats aside obviously, a fund of money for communal use made up of contributions from a group of people. But it still doesn't tell you how it became to be called kitty. I don't know.
Maybe you should go to an etymology dictionary then instead.
Yes, maybe I should.
Maybe not now, but okay.
I mean,
in your own time.
This is what I do, Dan.
Well, pistols will do the job, it seems, here for Immortals, picking up a variety of weapons. AK-47s collected. Just koosta left now as Felps takes down Ethan. Kind of a weird spot because he's not got the bomb. Uh-oh, the CTs have the bomb.
Oh, no.
Imagine if CTs could pick up the bomb. It would be amazing. Well, it would actually break the game, but also kind of funny. However, koosta, he's going to have to attack the situation, and he has an AWP right now. I think he might, if it's possible to find one, an AK might be a much better idea in this spot. Oh, the peek comes in. Double peek. koosta actually hit that shot, which is amazing, but there's just 2 players to deal with, and the reload time was too long. Immortals steal away around just as CLG did to them on their CT side. And now it is time for match points here for Immortals, a bunch of them.
I saw that from the CT perspective, that snap on the first player. That was quite something. But CLG have put themselves in a sticky situation. They are only 3 rounds away, but it's never only when you're on the back foot, when you're facing match point 2. players missing each other top mid there. Koosta almost seeing felps, but felps has been a bit too arrogant perhaps on the short position and will be sprayed down by hazed on this occasion. That's the early lead that CLG need. But again, zews and Lucas have both been very active when they've had an early disadvantage. Will they do the same now? We've had many pushes through B-apps from zews, but this time B-apps has been completely abandoned. Maybe the sheer lack of action over there will put zews over towards short. We do have Subroza in B-apps, just holding an angle, trying to run distraction, but he's being ignored for the time being.
That he is. hazed makes his way for the entry onto short. It is good. boltz to the scene now, and that's going to be an important one. We get a refrag attempt. It seems like we may have done, but the angle's closed down by boltz for the moment. Immortals scrambling there to get themselves back into the B-bomb site for a defense. They don't know if the T's have pushed up there just yet, so they're taking it cautiously. But here comes the T's. hazed making it the first kill onto the moving boltz. Out of position and fragged. Henny and Lucas for the save now, and it's going to be tough.
I saw some movement from Cutler in the connector area, and I don't know why that slowed Henny down. It seems that Henny must have heard him because he's focusing on this area. Can he save? So far, so good. hazed holding an angle though on short, but it seems he may be. Oh no, he's still there. But Henny's making his way over towards Palace. 13 HP. There are 2 HEs, so he needs to consider where he positions himself. Because, well, if hazed had moved into into A and thrown a HE into Palace, things could have got interesting. But he's picked up an AWP, dropped presumably by koosta earlier on in top mid. CLG not out of this yet. They are holding on for the time being. They're on the side of the cliff. Immortals stepping on their toes. But CLG proving to be strong. Now the money for Immortals is getting difficult. Henny's got 7k in the bank, so he's going to drop an M4 to zews, who's going to throw it to boltz and go with a 5-7 instead. That is a nice sacrifice, but also bearing in mind zews to be playing in apps. He hasn't seen much there, so it's reasonable for him to be happy to opt for a 5-7.
Grenade in for Henny. Flashbang, the peak. Players detected. Frag found. And now Immortals are going to be aware of what's going on. They are ready with 3 players. This is not a good idea. I repeat, abort. And that smoke is surely going to do the, well, make the decision for koosta and his friends. And you can see that hazed was kind of trying to make his way up middle there. Had hazed been able to get into a position and maybe cause some harassment towards the B-bomb side, perhaps the split was maybe still on, but it's still a bit of a stretch there. Perhaps they should have aborted the plan as a whole and fallen back entirely. But now they're just down to 3 players against the full 5 of Immortals, although zews is only carrying a 5-7. But still, he is going to be dangerous. He's on B, however, for the time being. boltz is going to investigate what has happened to these CLG players.
They're waiting. Oh, see, this is another situation where koosta has 2 places to look at the same time, and that is never ideal. But with a lack of personnel, what choice does he have in this situation? Immortals looking good for the first match. Cutler's barrel has been spotted by boltz. That's another advantage. Down goes koosta as well, leaving Ethan in a 1 versus 5. We've seen him do work before, but too many man on this occasion. Immortals 16-13 take it over the line. They strung a lot of rounds together in the middle of that half, as you can see there, 5 rounds in a row. But CLG definitely a dog with a lot of fight in them.
Yeah, it's. I mean, well, actually, no. I mean, I mean that Mirage was. They didn't really show me too much of anything there. Again, so many rounds they won. Either it was like really sloppy play and pistols win them weird rounds, or they just win. They won both pistols as well, and they got like a 3-6 rounds altogether from those too. So overall, Immortals I think looked a lot better, a lot more consistent. And CLG didn't really get anything going, I felt like, even though it's a close score.
Thoughts of the desk after the break.